So chapter 15, programming and treatment. Let's start with a little background. Now beat the cobwebs off. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning of the semester. First off, treatment refers to rehabilitative programs. So when we're talking about treatment in prison, we're talking about programs. Support for treatment has fluctuated. It's gone back and forth. And it's become kind of a catch-22. Because society expects inmates to be rehabilitated in prison, but they don't want to spend money. Remember when we said that we think of prisoners as a society, we think of prisoners as society's trash? And we don't want to spend the money. But we want them to be rehabilitated. Well, you can't have it both ways. So we've gone back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on this, which I think is kind of sad. Because if you don't fix what's broken, when we release these people and nothing has changed, we haven't fixed what's broken, we haven't given them any alternatives to committing crime, when we release them, and since most of them are getting out, after spending several years in criminal college, what do you think they're going to do? And a good portion of them return to crime. And why wouldn't they? We haven't given them any other options. Remember when we talked about classification? Reception and guidance when you first come into the prison? So they get classified then, and this is where we identify their treatment needs. What programs do they need to be helped, to be made whole? However, we also agreed that whether or not they get those programs depends on their risk assessment. So if we have a gangbanger, a member of a security threat group, if you will, who can't read and write, but he's a security threat group gangbanger guy, we don't really care too much about him not reading and writing until he shows us over the course of time, until he renounces his gang membership, that he's willing to play ball with us. Then we can talk treatment. But as long as somebody is a high-risk inmate, there's not too much we can do for them. There are benefits of program and work assignments. They aid in rehabilitation. We've had several failed attempts historically at rehabilitation, but we know how to do it now. We really do. We just don't want to spend the money. So any kind of program or work assignment is going to aid in rehabilitation. Would you agree? Yeah, absolutely. It keeps inmates productively occupied. As my great Aunt Sue used to say, and my grandmother, I think, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Idle hands do the devil's work. So if inmates are productively occupied doing good things, keeps them out of trouble. Keeps them out of our hair, too. It creates a normal routine. I want you to stop and think for a minute how important that really is in our lives. Now, next week is finals week, and you're about to get a big hole blown in your routine for a while. And I don't know about you, but it always throws me off for a little bit while I make that shift, that adjustment, especially for the summer session. Because during the school year, right, we all get in a little groove. On Monday you do this thing, on Tuesday you do that thing, on Wednesday you do that thing, and then school ends and it's like, well, crap, now what? And sometimes it takes you, a week or two to get your feet under you and figure out what you're going to do, or, you go to spring term. But that normal routine is kind of a nice thing for us. It keeps us steady. It keeps us on task. And prisoners like that, too. And for those of you who are parents with children, you're going to love this. Behavior management. It gives you something to give, to reward them with for good behavior. And for bad behavior, something to take away. This is why most inmates try to earn their way down to lower security levels, so they can get these privileges, so they can get these programs, so they can have a life that is as close to normal as they're going to get, at least under conditions of confinement. So for them to lose access to programs is a big deal. And it's a great management tool for us.